Many countries including Israel, Russia, Ukraine, approved unprecedented military spending for 2024, a move that is notable in the context of the Russia-Ukraine and Israel-Hamas conflicts that have not cooled down. At the end of 2023, many countries have approved military spending budgets for 2024, in the context of the conflict between Russia and Ukraine, the conflict between Israel and the armed Islamic movement Hamas, which controls the Gaza Strip, Palestine, shows no signs of cooling down. Many countries spend military spending at high levels, even record highs. Green, Israel, on December 25, in a document presented to the Israeli Parliamentary Finance Committee, the Ministry of Finance said that Israel's military spending in 2024 is expected to increase by 30 billion NIS, $3 billion, compared to level approved in May, 64 billion NIS, equivalent to more than $17 billion, according to the Times of Israel. Thus, Israel's military spending in 2024 is expected to be 96 billion NIS, nearly $26 billion. The Israeli Ministry of Finance gave the above figure based on the assumption that the conflict with Hamas will end in the first quarter of 2024. Israel's military spending in 2023 is about $23.6 billion, larger than the total military spending of Egypt, Iran, Lebanon and Jordan combined, according to news site Axios. In addition to military spending, the Israeli Ministry of Finance said the country will need an additional 9.6 billion NIS, more than $6 billion, to pay for the evacuation of about 120,000 people from the northern and southern border areas of Israel, supporting police forces and security services, as well as rebuilding conflict-torn areas. In addition, the Israeli Ministry of Finance believes that the country needs an additional 8.8 billion NIS, more than $2.4 billion, to solve problems such as government debt and higher-than-planned interest costs. As a result, Israel's total budget spending for 2024 is expected to increase to NIS $562.1 billion, $154.9 billion, from NIS $513.7 billion, $141.6 billion, approved last month. 5. Meanwhile, government revenue, mainly tax revenue, is likely to fall short of its target due to the economic downturn during the conflict. Russia, on November 27, Russian President Vladimir Putin signed the law on the Russian federal budget for 2024 and the plan for the 2025 to 2026 period. Accordingly, about 30% of Russia's federal budget in 2024 is for military spending, according to TASS news agency. TASS did not specify how much money Russia has for military spending in 2024. However, in October, speaking at a plenary meeting of the State Duma, Russia's House of Representatives, Russian Finance Minister Anton Siluanov said the country's military spending in 2024 would be 10,800 billion rubles, 117 billion rubles. Billion USD. The total military spending next year will be nearly 11,000 billion rubles. Exactly 10,800 billion rubles. And it will increase significantly compared to previous years, Mr. Siluanov said. Mr. Siluanov said the main task and priority of the Russian defense is to strengthen the country's defense capabilities and support those participating in the special military operation in Ukraine. Next year, we will focus our resources to achieve our goal of victory. The expected resources for 2024 have been determined and will allow us to solve the tasks set within the framework of special military operations. These tasks include providing weapons, military equipment, material and technical support to soldiers, Mr. Siluanov said. Ukraine, on November 9, the Ukrainian parliament passed a draft law on the state budget of Ukraine in 2024. Accordingly, budget revenue is estimated at 1,770 billion hryvnia, $48.4 billion, while expenditure is estimated at 3,350 billion hryvnia, about $89 billion, according to Reuters news agency. In 2024, more than half of Ukraine's total budget spending is planned for the defense sector. Speaking in the Ukrainian parliament, Ukrainian Finance Minister Sergei Marchenko said, spending on security and defense will not be lower than in 2023, which includes investments in domestic production and upgrading. High technological potential of the Ukrainian armed forces. We will have many unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and weapons of our own to win quickly. Speaking after a meeting of the Ukrainian parliament, Prime Minister of Ukraine, Mr. Denis Shmyhal said, "Priorities are clearly set out in the budget. All our internal resources will be used so that we have able to fight and defeat the enemy. In fact, 50% of our spending goes to the defense and security of Ukraine. We will have more weapons and vehicles, more UAVs, ammunition and missiles. Every hryvnia from taxpayers will transfer to the army," Mr. Shmyhal said. America. On December 22, U.S. President Joe Biden signed into law the National Defense Authorization Act, NDAA, for 2024, including a record military spending budget of $886 billion, according to Reuters. Previously, the U.S. Senate passed the NDAA with 87 votes in favor and 13 votes against, while the voting results in the U.S. House of Representatives were 310 votes in favor and 118 votes against, according to Politico news site. The $886 billion military spending budget package includes $842 billion for Pentagon programs, $32.5 billion for nuclear weapons programs and $11.5 billion for nuclear weapons programs. Other national security programs. The law also includes a military aid budget for Ukraine, worth $300 million. NDAA also plans to spend $14.7 billion to strengthen America's presence in the Indo-Pacific region. NDAA said it will increase salaries for U.S. soldiers by 5.2%, the largest increase in more than 20 years. Japan. On December 22, Japan approved a defense budget worth 7,900 billion yen, $56 billion for 2024, an increase of 1,100 billion yen compared to 2023, according to Kyodo News Agency. This is the 10th consecutive year that Japan has increased defense spending, according to the Diplomat magazine. The above budget plan ensures necessary efforts to strongly strengthen Japan's defense capabilities, of which Japan spent $5.16 billion to develop and produce long-range weapons and rocket launchers. Japan also plans to spend $8.77 billion to coordinate with the U.S. to strengthen the development of an integrated air and missile defense system, IMD, capable of intercepting hypersonic weapons. The Japan Coast Guard, JMSDF, was allocated a large amount of money with a total value of $2.62 billion to build 2 ships equipped with the Aegis system developed by the U.S. Japan plans to spend $513 million to cooperate with Britain and Italy to develop a new generation fighter aircraft by 2035. The remaining budget is mainly used to buy more weapons, warships and fighter aircraft. Korea. The Korea Herbal News Agency reported that on December 21, the Korean National Assembly approved a government budget of up to 656,600 billion won, $502 billion in 2024. In particular, South Korea plans to spend $187 billion on advanced weapon systems, including establishing a domestic defense system to deal with nuclear and missile threats from North Korea.